All right, quadratic trinomial. Trinomial means 3 terms. A quadratic trinomial, a quadratic means it must have an x squared term. That's what quadratic trinomial means. So we're going to learn how to factorize this expression. A monic trinomial, a monic quadratic trinomial means that the coefficient of x squared is 1. So we're going to factorize a quadratic expression of the form x squared plus bx plus c, where the number in front of x squared is 1. Okay? Because these are easier to factorize than if there's a number in front of x squared. So we're going to learn how to factorize this. So before we start, we'll do an introduction. Okay, so what we do is, we're going to expand this. Remember, factorization is opposite to expand. So we're going to expand this. Y times y is y squared. And then do y times 3 is 3y. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 3 is 6. And then you end up with, now, what's 3 plus 2 is 5, isn't it? So we go 5y plus 6. And then I'm going to ask you, how do I factorize this? What would you write? It must be, yeah, because if you go opposite, that's called factorize, isn't it? So if I factorize this trinomial, quadratic trinomial, I should get the original question. That's easy. Where do I get 6 from? 2 times 3. Yep, good. Okay, now this is the situation. Obviously, if I give you the question, you can work out what the question is, isn't it? What if I don't give you the question, give you the answer? What's the question? What do I have to expand to? Yeah, we have to break it down. So how do we break it down? We have to use some strategy.
X times x plus
something, right? So basically, the answer, the question you're going to expand is, there's an xc, there's an xc. We have to figure out what these numbers are. Well, that's why we have to look at this example to see if there's any connection, right? So what you do is, if you look at it carefully, notice that the 6c is related to the 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So that 6c is 2 times 3.
Does that apply on every question?
Say again?
So would that be like saying every question like equal like 8 in a...
Oh yeah, that's right. The strategy will work every time. So can you see 2 plus 3 is 5? So we have to find the two numbers which multiply to get 6, add to get 5. 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3 works. All right, how about this one, 2 and 5? Okay, so find numbers which multiply to get 10, add to get 7. 5 and 2, you got it. So if I were to factorize this, all I have to do is to write, now because the first term is x squared, it must be x in the first bracket, x in the second bracket. Agree? And then I saw that it's going to be 2 and 5. Because 2 times 5 is 10, 2 plus 5 is 7. Therefore, inside the bracket must be 2 here and 5 there. So, well, because positive times positive is positive 10, positive 5 plus positive 2 is positive 7. That's why they're both plus. Well, it doesn't matter because if I do a times b, same as b times a, isn't it? So if I write x plus 5 and x plus 2, that will still be correct because it doesn't matter which order you write them. They are the same. As long as you get these numbers right. It has to be a 5, has to be a 2. Yep. Any question? Now, with this simple one, the harder one will involve some negative numbers. So if you're good at mental strategy, you will be able to do this very easily. All right, let's try the next one. Let's see how it works. So we've got the numbers. Okay, actually, it's almost the same question. Is it the same? No. Oh, that's a 7x. That's a before. Now it's a negative 7x. So let's try this. Actually, we've got b. Okay, we've got c. We've got b. So you write negative a equal to something times something, but it has to be the same number, which adds to 2. What numbers would it be? 2 and what? Oh, let's try 2 times negative 4 does give you negative 8, but do they add up to 2?
Yeah.
No, it adds up to negative 2. So let's choose something else. Negative 2 and 4. That works, isn't it? Right? So therefore you write x minus 2, x plus 4. Does that make sense? So you need to do a bit of trial and error. Yes, ask me. Okay, so okay, good. So what you do is this. What you usually do is you list all the possibility of factors that multiply to get negative 8. So you're going to try study with negative 1 and 8 because it's negative. Yeah, it says negative 8 here. Because when you do the oh, the one in the middle has to be add. The one in here must be multiplied. Because when you do the expansion, yeah, the one with the polynomial you add. Because if you look at this, 2y plus 3y, that's adding, isn't it? 3 times 3 is timesing. That's why it's times e plus there. Get it? All right, sorry, I misread your question. Okay, so if you can't find these numbers, just list them all. So list all the factors, and eventually you see one of these adds up to 2. This doesn't add up to 2. That adds up to positive 2. That adds up to negative 2. That adds up to negative 7. So only this one works. Get it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's try the next one. Negative 7x plus 10. What would it be? Times. This one's a bit harder, but let's list the possibility like we did before. We're going to list 10 years, 1 times 10, 2 times 5, but you can also consider both negative. Negative 1 times negative 10, negative 2 times negative 5. But which of these adds up to negative 7? Yeah, so when you see the middle number is negative, the last number is positive, you expect to get 2 negative numbers. Does that make sense? All right, good. So you get, let's write it down. So therefore, you become x minus 2, x minus 5. Get the idea? The 10, because negative 2 times negative is positive. So in this topic, you need to be good with positive and negative numbers mentally. So you can work this out in your head, okay? So this part, you can't really use a calculator because you have to list all the possibilities. But fortunately, the question in the textbook, the numbers are not very big. So you don't have to list a lot of them, okay? Maybe a hard question where you have to list a lot. Okay, we've got one more question to go through. Now, obviously, this is not a monic quadratic because it has a number in front of x squared. So when there's a number in front of x squared, check whether you can take out a if it's a number in front of x squared, it's called non-monic, but we don't have to use any extra method because there's a common factor. What's the common factor? 2. So you take the 2 out, and now the quadratic becomes monic. Can you see? This is a monic quadratic you can factorize. So we're going to list the possibilities. So you're going to write negative 6 is something times something, and negative 1 equal to the sum of 2 numbers. Which 2 numbers will it be? Now it can't be 0 because they must multiply to get negative 6. Start with the product. Minus 3 and 2, I think it works. Minus 3 and 2 works. It works because negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. And then it times negative 6. Well done. So you get x minus 3, x plus 2. Get the idea? No, 2 is in front. You take the 2 out. 2 is been taken out. So when you factorize, you only have to... No, just one of them. Because that's 2 times by everything here. So when you have something like this, like 2 times A times B is just 2AB. It doesn't become 2 share around with both. You just put the 2 in front. Yeah. Okay, good. Any question? You should be able to do the exercise now. There's plenty of time to do a few questions before we pack up. Thank you. Today's date is over there, 8th of June. You do the textbook work.